Mayaangelo, still I rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may treat me in the very dirt. Trade me in the very dirt, but it's still like dust I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with glow? Because I was like I have got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides. Just like the hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken both head and lowered eye, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? Because I laugh like I have got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your headfulness, but still I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I have got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise up from the past that's rooted in pain. I'll rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide and welling and swelling. I bear in the tide. Leaving behind the nights of the terror and fear, I rise into the daybreak that's a wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I'm in the dream and the hope and the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Televised new turns a half-used day into the west of desolation. If nothing wondrous preceded the catastrophic announcement, certainly nothing will follow save the sad-eyed faces of the bony children, distended bellies making mock as their starvation. Why are they always black? Whom did they await? The lamb chopped flesh reeks and cannot be eaten. Even the green peas rolling on my plate unmolested. Their innocence matched by the helplessness, hope in the children's faces. Why do black children home? Who will bring them peace and the lamb chops and the one more morning? Because we have forgotten our ancestors, our children no longer give us honor. Because we have lost the path of our ancestors, clear kneeling is perilous undergrowth. Our children cannot find their way. Because we have banished the God of our ancestors, our children cannot pray. Because the old wails of our ancestors have faded beyond our hearing, our children cannot hear us crying. Because we have abandoned our wisdom of mothering and fathering, our beautiful children give birth to children they neither want nor understand. Because we have forgotten how to love the adversaries within her gates, as holds us up in the mirror of the world, shouting, regard the loveless. Therefore we pledge to bind ourselves to one another, to embrace our loneliest, to keep company with our loneliest, to educate our illiterate, to feed our starving, to clothe our ragged, to do all good things, knowing that we are more than keepers of our own brothers and sisters. We are our brothers and sisters. I honor of those who toil and implore God with golden tongues, and in gratitude to the same God who brought us out of the hopeless desolation, we make this pledge. Wow. The road not taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. I'm sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler long I stood. I looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair and having perhaps a better claim because it was grassy and wanted way. Though as for the passing day had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves. No step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads ravaged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The rose. The rose is a rose and was always a rose, but the theory now goes that the apple's a rose appear is, and so is a plum. I suppose the dear only knows what will next prove a rose. You, of course, are a rose, but were always a rose. The runaway. Once, when the snow of the year was beginning to fall, we stopped by a mountain pasture to see who's called. A little Morgan had one foot on the ball, the other curled at its breast. He dipped his head. He snorted at us, and then he had to bolt. We heard a miniature thunder where he fled, and we saw him, or thought he saw us, him, dim and grey, like a shadow against the curtain of the falling flakes. I think the little fellow's afraid of the snow. He is in a winter broken. He is in play. With the little fellow at all, he is running away. I doubt if even his mother could tell him sex is only weather. He'll think she didn't know. Where is his mother? He can't be out alone, and now he comes again with the clatter of the stone and mounts the walls again with whited eyes, and all his there isn't a hair up straight. He shudders his coat as if to throw off flies. Whoever is it that leaves him out so late when other creatures have gone to stall and bin, ought to be told to come and take him in. We dance around in a ring and suppose, but the secret is in the middle and knows. Wow, beautiful. She is as in a field, a silken tent at midday when the sunny summer breeze has dried the dew and all its ropes relent, so that in guise it gently swears at ease and is supporting centres at a pole that in its pinnacle is to heavenward, and signifies the sureness of the soul, seems to owe not to any single cord, but strictly held by one is loosely bound by countless silken ties of love and thought. To everything on earth the compounds round, the only by one's going slightly taut in the capriciousness of summer air is of the slightest bondage made aware. Vaheguru. Character poems. I marvel how nature could ever find space for so many strange contrasts in one human face. There is thought and no thought, and there's paleness and bloom. The bustle and the sluggishness of pleasure and gloom. There's weakness and strength, both redundant and twain. Such strength as if ever affliction and pain could pierce through a temper that softened to disease would be rational peace, a philosopher's ease. There's an indifference, alike when you fail or succeed, and attention full 10 times as much as their needs. Pride, where there is no envy, there is so much joy, and mindless. The spirit doth forward and coy. There's freedom, and sometimes a diffidence is there of shame scarcely seeming to know that she's there. There's virtue, the title it surely may claim, yet wants heaven, knows what to be worthy the name. This picture from nature may seem to depart, yet a man would at once run away with your heart. I, for 5 centuries, right gladly would be such an odd, such a kind, happy creature as he. How often do I wish I were what people call a character, a ripe and cubic old chappie who lives to make his fellow happy within. In his eyes a merry twinkle, and round his lips a laughing wrinkle, with who radiating hope and cheer grows kindlier with every year. For this ideal let me strive and keep the land in me alive, nor argument nor anger, no, but in my own way silently go the woes of the men to understand, yet walks with human hand in hand to love each day and wonder why folks are not so jocund as I. So be you simple, decent and kind, with gentle hearts and quiet mind, and if so right is anger stung. Restrain your temper and your tongue, let thoughts for others be your guide, and patience trump over pride, with charity for those who e'er live life, so folks may say you were. God bless your heart a character. It is ghastly and worse than murder. It strikes you from within even harder. Its effect very loud and clear. Always you feel campaign, sinister and smear. Nothing can hurt you more than abuse. Your life is at stake and you can't refuse. No amount of confidence you can infuse once you have subjected, then no one can diffuse. It will be hidden propaganda to put you on trial. No rooms left for explanation or denial. Less you clarify, damage intensity is more, leaving you in a dilemma and shame in store. No one can gain an old position, disturbs balance and spoils of composition. Damage control exercise can lessen situation, credit restoration may take time for persuasion. Accusations hurling abuse all lethal weapons. Accusations bid involve distribution of coupons. Rumor may travel faster than speedy wind. No trace or proof can ever be found in mind. Everyone has neck behind cloth. Image damage, its combination of both. No one can stand without the prestige and the pride almost to go to the oblivion and praise to hide. It is not only lethal but deadly too. Aim at one but targets two. No proof, no attempt. So many needed only the propaganda plan and succeeded. Character assassination. Who's the happy warrior? Who is he that every man in arms should wish to be? In the generous spirit who Wayne brought among the tasks of the real life had wrought upon the plan that pleased his voice thought, whose high endeavors are an inward light that makes the path before him always bright, who with the natural instinct to discern what knowledge can perform is diligent to learn, abides by his resolve and stops not there, but makes his moral being his prime care, who doomed to go to in company with pain and fear and bloodshed and miserable train, turns his necessity to glorious gain. In the face of these doth exercise a power which is our human nature's highest dower, controls them and subdues, transfuse, bereaves of their bad influence and their good receives. He by objects which might force the soul to abet, her feeling rendered more compassionable, is placable, because occasions rise often that demand such sacrifice, more skillful and self-knowledge even more pure. Vaheguru, Vaheguru. As tempted more and more, able to endure, as more exposed to suffering and distress, that's also more alive to tenderness. It is he whose law is reason, who depends upon the law and the best of the friends, wins in a state where men are tempted still. To evil for a God against was ill, and what is quality and act is best. Doth seldom on the right occasion rest he labors, good and bad to fix, and owes to virtue every trump that he knows, who, if he rise to a station of command, rise by open means, and there will stand on honorable terms, or else retire, and in himself possesses his own desire, who comprehends his trust, and to the same keeps faithful with the singleness of the aim, and therefore does not stoop nor lie in wait for wealth or honors or for worldly state, whom they must follow, on whose head must fall like showers of manna, if they come at all, whose powers shade round him in the common strife for mild concerns of the ordinary life, a constant influence, a peculiar grace, but who, if he be called upon to face some awful moment in which heaven has joined great issues, good and bad, for some kind, is happy as a lover and attired with sudden brightness like a man inspired, and through the heat of the conflict keeps the law. The in calmness made and cease what he foresaw. Or if an unexpected call succeed, come when it will is equal to the need. He who thus endued as with the sins and faculty for storm and turbulence, is yet a soul whose master bears leans to home felt pleasures and to gentle scenes. Sweet images which wheresoever he be are at the heart in such fidelity, it is his darling passion to approve. From brave for this, more brave to this, that he has so much love. It's finally the man who lifted the high conscious object in the nation's eye, or left it unthought of in his obscurity, who with a toward all untoward law, prosperous or adverse to his wish or not, placed in the many games of the life, that one where what he most doth value most he must be won, whom neither shape nor danger can dismay, nor thought of tenderness, happiness betray, who not content with former worth stand fast, looks forward preserving to the last, from well to the better daily self surpassed, who whether praise of him must walk the earth forever, and to the noble deeds give birth, or he must fall asleep without his frame and leave a dead and profitable name, finds comfort in himself and in his cause, and while the mortals mist in gathering draws his breath in confidence to heaven applause. This is the happy warrior, this is the he that every man in the arms should wish to be. Wow. Character of the happy warrior. How happy is he born or taught that serve not another's will, whose armor is his honest thought, and simple truth is highest skill, whose passions not his masters are, whose soul is still prepared for death and tied unto the world with care, of princesses grace or vulgar bread, who envies none, whom chance doth raise, or wise, who never understood the deepest wounds are given by praise, by rule of state, but not of God, who had his life from rumors freed, whose conscience is his strong retreat, whose estate can neither flatterers feed nor ruin make accusers great, who God doth late and early pray, more of his grace than good to send to and entertain the harmless day with a well-chosen book or a friend. This man is free from servile bands of hope to rise and fear to fall, Lord of himself, though not of lands, and having nothing, yet hath all. Beautiful, the character of a happy life. What is a brain, that ink make character? What had not figured to thee, my true spirit? What's new to speak, what now to register? That may express my love of thy dear merit. Nothing sweet boy, but yet like praise divine, I must each day say over the very same, counting no old thing, old, though mine and thine, even as when first I hallowed thy fair name, so that eternal love in love's fresh case weighs not the dust and the injury of age, nor gives to necessary wrinkles place, but makes antiquity for his page. Finding the first conceit of love, dear bred, where time and outward form would show it dead. William Shakespeare. The sun set, but set not his hope. Stars rose, his faith was earlier up. Fixed on the enormous galaxy, deeper and older seemed his eye, and matched his sufferance sublime the taciturnity of time. He spoke, and the verse more soft than rain brought the age of the gold again. His action won such reverence sweet as hid all measure of the fame. Tune. Go from the window, love, do. The sun he sunk in the west, of the creatures retired to rest. While here I sit also to be said, with sorrow, grief, and the woe, and its fickle fortune all. The prosperous man is asleep, nor hears how the whirlwinds sweep. My misery and I must watch the surely tempests blow, and its fickle fortune all. There lies the dear partner of my breast, he cares for a moment of rest. Must I see thee, my youthful pride, thus bought, so very low, and its fickle fortune, There lies my sweet babies in her arms, no anxious fear their little hearts alarms, for their sake my heart does ache with many a bitter throe, and its fickle fortune, I once was a fortune careless, at once could relieve the distress, now life's woes are put hardly on, my fate will scarce bestow, and its fake fortune, No comfort I have, how welcome to me were the grave, but then my wife and the children dear, whither would they go? And it's fickle fortune, and whither shall I run, all friendliest folk second forlorn, for in this world rest or peace I never more shall know, and it's fickle fortune, is the character of the ruined farmer. He is to be the melancholy called thin in the west, and with bushy head of hair, as had the seeded thistle, when in Polly it holds a step for wow, beautiful. No. Classic funny poem, The Three Little Pigs. The animal I really dig above all others is the pig. Pigs are noble, pigs are clever, pigs are courteous, however, now and then to break this rule, one meets a pig who's a fool. What, for example, would you say? It's strolling through the woods one day, right there in the front of you, you saw a pig who's built his house of straw. The wolf who saw it licked his lips and saying that pig has had his chips. Little pig, let me come in. No, said by the hairs of my chinny chin, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. The little pig began to pray, but Woffy blew his house away. He shouted bacon, pork, and ham. Oh, what a lucky wolf I am! And though he ate the pig Quite fast, he carefully kept the tell till last. Wolf wanted on a trifle bloated. Surprise, surprise, for soon he noted another little house for pigs, and this one was built of twigs. Little pig, let me come in. No, no, by the hairs of my chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. The wolf said, okay, here we go. He then began to blow and blow. The little pig began to squeal. He cried, oh, wolf, you have had one meal. Why can't we talk and make a deal? The wolf replied, not only a Nelly. And soon the pig was in his belly. Two juicy little pigs, wolf cried, but still I'm not quite satisfied. I know how full of my tummy's bulging, but oh, how I adore indulging. So creeping quietly as a mouse, the wolf approached and the house which also had inside a little piggy trying to hide. You'll not get me, the piggy cried. I'll blow you down, the wolf replied. You'll need, pig said, a lot of puff, and I don't think you have got enough. Wolf huffed and puffed and blew. The house stayed up as good as new. If I can't blow it down, wolf said, I'll have to blow it up instead. I'll come back in the dead of the night and blow it with dynamite. Pig cried, you brute! I might have known. Then picking up the telephone, he dialed as quickly as he could the number of the Red Riding Hood. Hello, she said, you're speaking. Who's speaking? Who? Oh, hello, Piggy. How do you do? Pig cried. I need your help, Miss Hood. Oh, help me, please. Do you think you could? I'll try, of course.